August 3rd. It's the middle of summer and it's time to hit the beach. So we pack our sunblock and head west to Sylvan Beach. The waterways that lead to Oneida Lake have always been important transportation routes. After the French and Indian War, both the French and English built forts along crucial waterways to protect their interests in the New World.
The waterways that lead into Oneida Lake are now used for recreation, but way back in our history in the 18th century, the British were building fortifications along through here. One of them was right here at the entrance to Sylvan Beach. It was the Royal Blockhouse along what was called Wood Creek.
You can still see parts of the old creek that remained after the Erie Canal cut through in the 1800s. They are now used as harbors for boats accessing Oneida Lake. Essential to the lake's boaters is the invaluable buoy system. These buoys have marked the lake's safe channels for decades. When old buoys were recently retired, buoy number 106 was moved to a new resting place in the village park.
The buoy was put here last fall. I haven't been able to find out exactly when the buoy was first placed on the lake because it's so old. This is buoy 106. Normally 106 on the canal navigation system is found right at the end of our pier. So when you have arrived at buoy number 106, you have arrived at Sylvan Beach. The original buoys were lit with oil lamps. The Canal Authority employees called buoy tenders went from buoy to buoy replenishing the oil supply, and they just basically stayed lit all the time. Then they switched over to a DC battery system. Now the buoys that are out there are much smaller and they're all solar powered.
The Sylvan Beach area is not only known for water sports, but also for its walking and hiking trails. Besides the village's miles of paved sidewalks, with more to come, at nearby Verona Beach there are miles of nature trails, horseback riding, skiing, and snowmobile trails.
We're here at the Verona Beach State Park. Now across the way there is the beach and the picnic area where most people go, but if you come here on the other side, there is a 1,700-acre area that has in it 15 miles of trails. So if you're in the mood for a walk through the woods, come here.
You can pick up information at the entrance to the Verona Beach State Park with maps of the trail system, or call 492-1756 for the regional office.
Told me to play this song just for you, just for you. Captive audio sang round the breeze and over the mountains and out of key. Nobody noticed the song was played just for you, just for you.
I just had a fresh, flaky fish fry, what a fish fry should be, here at the Canal View. Now going back a few years into the 1940s and 1950s, I remember this being a private home. Right next door was the Carousel, and next to that was the Caterpillar, I think, and then next to that was the old-fashioned Ferris wheel. When people are looking for a museum here in Sylvan Beach, they're sent to the Canal View Cafe because you come in here and it is literally a museum. There are hundreds upon hundreds of artifacts and old-fashioned items here, many of which take me back. For example, this postcard shows the bridge that used to be out here that I would walk over from the Verona side, and I can still remember vividly the staircase that would take you down to the Midway.
I hope my heart stays young on Oneida Lake. Acres of knee-deep water, the children safely play, tracing every movement that you made in your
Last summer, when we visited Sylvan Beach Amusement Park, owner Pat Goodnow took us on a tour of the classic park, and the latest addition was the Rotor. This spinning ride uses centrifugal forces to hold passengers against the wall as the floor drops down. Richard decided to pass on that ride. This year, the new old ride is the Himalaya. This classic fits right in with the old-fashioned Midway experience at the Sylvan Beach Amusement Park.
Got the home, got the honey, but where does it lead me from here?
We have a new ride at Sylvan Beach Amusement Park for the summer. It's called the Super Himalaya. We purchased it from a park in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, It was made by a company named Reverchron from France. It has a 72-person capacity. It moves very quickly. And we play some music and make some comments, get a lot of participation, get people waving at us and chanting and screaming, and it's a great ride for Sylvan Beach. We've had multiple people who live in the New Jersey area or who visit Seaside Heights stand in front of the ride and say there's one just like this in Seaside Heights, and then when they find out, they're quite surprised, actually. So this piece people have seen for years at state fairs especially, but large amusement parks. Classic Reverchron, there are other companies that make Himalayas, but Reverchron was among the first to bring a Himalaya to this country. And again, it fits into this nostalgia with the parents rode it when they were children at various places, and they're bringing their children back to ride now.
I just got off the Himalaya, and I can tell you this, when that thing was going around and around, well, that direction, I guess, when they were yelling, the guy over there says, you want to go faster? They would yell faster and faster, and I was the only one on there yelling slower, slower, and they went faster and faster. And I'll tell you, I almost lost my lunch.
Well, Richard, if you think that was fast, wait until the Screamer hits the beach this summer. This 2,000 horsepower, 40-passenger boat will put the thrill in thrill rides. Watch for the Screamer later this summer in Sylvan Beach. Luckily, Richard saved dessert for after the ride. We head over to yesterday's Royal to escape the heat and cool down with a little homemade ice cream.
Earlier today, we were at the Royal Blockhouse across the bridge from here. So we thought we would come here to yesterday's Royal because they feature the Royal Blockhouse dessert. They call it a fortress with a good foundation of 8 scoops of their homemade ice cream with 4 toppings and a ton of whipped cream, buttered almonds, and a cherry. So I thought, gosh, I've got to try that. So here it is. You're kidding me. Oh, fortunately, I brought the crew and some friends here to help me finish this.
Now I've been to the mountaintops and my share of troubles too. But if I could do it all again.
Back in the 1940s, when I would come to this carousel, I would always search out the lion, and behind me was the chariot where my grandmother would sit. Now, when I come here, I ride the chariot, and the grandchildren sit in front of me on the animals. There's no lion anymore. I don't know where he went, but there is a chicken.
You can win a book of tickets to the Sylvan Beach Amusement Park, valued at $40. Send us an email or send a postcard to 30 Kellogg Street in Clinton. 3 winners will be drawn on next week's show.
Certain people were bound to meet to share a little bit of their love for a day, a week, a year, or sometimes maybe more. A little bit of love can make this life mean so much.
Something old but new is the Pancake House. This classic breakfast place with the pillars has new owners, Wendy and Susanna, carrying on Mo LaBella's friendly tradition.
You smile.
Nothing goes better with a vacation town than miniature golf, and there's a brand new one here. It's called the Blue Lagoon Adventure Golf. There's also something behind it that is called, what is it? Disc golf that I've never tried, so I'm going to try my hand at that in a second.
Breath I take, and I hope my heart stays young.